Hello again. Welcome back to Billy Ho Sports. Continuing coverage for Belmont weekend. We've got a huge weekend of racing, lots of content coming your way. So stay tuned. Today's video, we're going to profile those three turf races on Friday. Split the pot contest is filling up fast. Some fantastic commenters. I just want to compliment all of you. Refreshing to read some of the really sharp takes on there. So keep it coming. All the commenters to my recent videos will go into a draw for a split the pot bet that will be the winner getting a $20 bet on me that we split the proceeds if we win. So to be eligible for that, you have to subscribe to the channel first and foremost. Then click on that like button. Use the hashtag BHS to help promote the channel. Very much appreciated. And give me your all turf pick three for these three races. And we'll get right into it with race number 10, which is the 2 mile inner turf Belmont Gold Cup. Let's look at some past performances. We are indeed going 2 miles on the inner turf at Saratoga, and 2 mile races on the turf are pretty rare in the United States, but there are a couple of them, and hopefully we could parse out what we got going on here. And we're going to start with number one, Flatten the Curve. Looks like the kind of European horse coming over from Hoppengarten. Four straight wins going all the way back here, and we don't get charts for these kind of races and everything, but they do look pretty good to me, and they're not like huge, but this one was a Group 2. They call them groups, we call them graded stakes, but they're basically similar. So Group 2 win last out for 146K. So Flatten the Curve might be a Euro horse that we could back. Euro horses win this race quite a bit over the years because it's a turf marathon, and not many of the U.S. horses travel this kind of distance. So the plus what helps is the rail post winning at 20% clip, which means a lot of the times that these horses get out and they're able to get on the inside rail and save ground, especially on the inner turf where the turns are really sharp. And you got to love this name, Thor Hammer Hansen. That's just such an awesome name for a jockey, Thor Hammer Hansen. Pretty cool. He's a young, inexperienced jock racing over for the U.S. for the first time, but the guy's very, very new, right? But you can see he's got 3 straight wins riding this horse, so he's got experience riding this particular horse. So one to keep an eye on. This one, another one is to keep an eye on is Padiddle, and taking a look at the 2 mile distance for the first time. The amazing Jose aboard riding. You can't go wrong there. Fernando Abreu's done well with this horse, just banging out cash checks. You cash checks on 4th place finishes. So just nothing but straight ATM machine for the foreseeable past for Padiddle, and probably won't get a whole lot of love at the tote board, up against one of the best in Farbridge, and ran back-to-back 3rd place finishes. So pretty tough company that this one's been running in. So I do have some interest. I mean, it's got the chance to be in the money. 10 lifetime starts and has been in the money 8 times. So just one win though. But Padiddle, definitely a one to contend with. Another one to contend with, Limited Liability. Nearly won this race last year, finishing 3rd, and then he crushed it. He crushed it here. Here's the Belmont Gold Cup. You can see the Gray Wizard won, and he ran 3rd. But the Gray Wizard is an awesome horse. He fell victim to the Gray Wizard a second time in another stakes, and then went to Kentucky Downs in this 500K Nashville and just destroyed him on the front end wire job by 8 under Frankie Dettori. And then you can see seconds, thirds, close, just missing. Red Smith. All these races are really good under Dettori. And what I find fascinating about Frankie is I was just anytime I saw him riding a turf horse last year, I was like, oh, look at that one, look at that one. But he's got 9% wins in 124 starts on the turf, and that's just unlike Frankie. I mean, I don't know if his mounts are worse, or he's just maybe in a slump or something, but he's still very capable, and I like him at these 2 mile marathon distances, so I'm not going to hold that against him. Limited Liability on the ticket for sure. And here's the lone female of the group, La Mejana. That is a 6-year-old mare taking on open company. I stand up and take notice of that right away. And look who's training, Miguel Clement. Rest in peace, Christophe Clement. If you didn't know, Christophe Clement was a great European turf trainer, and just all around great guy altogether. And so we do miss him in the game, but his son Miguel is perfectly capable of taking over the reins. And I think he's got a pretty good one here. And they picked a spot. They're instead of going up against fillies and mares, they're going into open company here. So they must feel pretty good about this one. What I like is the average win distance on both sides, 9.3. That screams distance to me. And I think maybe with a lot of these horses not being traveled along 2 miles, that this one can get after it because she seems to be in the mix right down the stretch and then just doesn't quite get there against some of the other rivals. And these horses right here we'll talk about in a minute. Beleza and Beach Bomb are actually in the grade one just a game here that we'll talk about shortly. So make sure you stick around for that one and make sure you're subscribed to the channel too because we're going to have split the pot draws and I'll be doing those draws a little bit later on in the week, the next day or two. So stay tuned. But this is a great value play and a sleeper pick. I think she had the inside rail and almost got the win going 12 furlongs. I looked at this Orchid two back, so I do like this one as a sleeper pick, and I also like this one Anglophile. Is anytime I see sired by the all-time turf goat English Channel, I take a look. English Channel was just so good in his career. So anyway, the Man of War, definitely a grinder, almost a mile and a half race. Second to Farbridge, then was just clipped late in the Elkhorn by Utah Beach and ran third, a closing third. Actually, Limited Liability was the one that got clipped late, but Anglophile was closing there as well, and the fifth in the grade two at Gulfstream. But Kentucky Downs Turf Cup, just pretty decent finishes across the board. So this one is one I'd have an eye on. But 3 wins and 21 lifetime starts is not all that great. But I will point to one of her wins that goes back, actually back beyond this page here. But previous to this, she ran at Kentucky Downs and beat Farbridge in a stakes race. So good enough to include in exotics. Then we have the Ginger Wizard. Don't get this one confused. The Gray Wizard. This is the Ginger Wizard. So this is Grand Motion and Umberto Rispoli will ride. So I like the upgrade to Rispoli. I think he probably could be competitive somewhat, but coming out the optional claiming ranks. And I think Grand Motion, I was reading on some stats that in these stake type races on the turf at Saratoga, he hasn't been very good. Like he's 0 for 7, 0 for 10, somewhere in that range in the last couple of years. So I'm going to pass on the Ginger Wizard. I'm also going to pass on Curbstone, uh, who is moving back to the grass, does pick up Ben Curtis, both positives, and did go 2 miles last October in a stakes called the John Forbes, was beaten by the Gray Wizard, who we just talked about, won this race last year. So, I mean, if you wanted to use, I wouldn't fight you on exotics, but I think just maybe slightly outclassed, excuse me. But we're going to move on to Grand Sonata. And this is Todd Pletcher and Irad Ortiz. Never been 2 miles, but with Irad aboard, I think he can get there. I think the pace should be moderate enough to keep him engaged and up close to the pace and set down for a rally. This 50, that's probably what we're looking at for a half mile going two is like in the Elkhorn, and he just wasn't able to close into that. But I think maybe if the pace is just a little bit better, then you could see got second by a head to capture the flag. So I think maybe just a little bit. It doesn't have to be plus 18 like this insane pace in the at Gulfstream here in the Pegasus World Cup, but I think a nice sub 50 half mile is what I'm looking at. Grand Sonata should be used. Probably not going to make it at 6-1 odds. Probably going to get bet down. But that brings us to number 9, Tawny Port. And here's Miguel Clement, Flavian Pratt. This one I really, really was rooting for hard last year to get that stakes win on the turf and just couldn't get there. Last March came right off the shelf and almost got it right here in the grade two. And then the Pan American missed by a neck. And then just kind of struggled a little bit the next race with the Man of War and finished fourth. I mean, that was Silver Knot, Ohana Honor, Nation's Pride. That's a pretty damn good company right there. Then just missed Monmouth, Fort Washington, also recent winner of a big stakes race, Running Bee, pretty good one as well. Then United Nations missed by a neck, and just Get Smoking got that one. Second place or third by a neck, uh, rallied up, and then Grand Sonata was second in that one. So you can see beaten by Grand Sonata twice. So I would put Grand Sonata obviously above this one, but one you could include that I wouldn't argue with, but I'm not going to do it. I just think The pace was pretty slow in the last one. First off the layoff, so second off the layoff could improve. We'll just have to see. I'm not doing anything with Lord Flintshire. Third behind Curbstone. They dropped him down to get a win, so I'm going to pass on that. There are three, I will close it out, three main track onlys. I think the only one I would take a look at is the 12 timeout. Now, I will caveat this. There is supposed to be rain in the forecast, showers likely for Friday, but I don't believe that they would pull this race off the turf unless it got really, really bad. It's going to have to really, really get bad because this is the first turf race. So but they really, when you have big events like this, they really, really, really want to get these turf races and keep them on the turf. So to round out the selections, I am going to take uh, a value win place bet on the number 4 La Mahana, and that's hopefully be 15 to 1 or greater. And then, but number 3 limited liability would be the horse that I would key box. I like number 1 Flatten the Curve. I like number 5 Anglophile, and obviously number 8 Grand Sonata. So something like an example bet would be trifecta key box, the 3 with the 1 4 5 8, maybe 50-cent box or something like that. But that is going to take us over to race number 12 now, and we are going to go to the New York Stakes Grade 1 event. This one's going a mile and 3/16 on the turf. That previous one was the inner turf. This is actually the outer turf, so that does make a difference. And Forever After All will start roll to victory on a yielding Keeneland turf. Keep in mind, this could be a good to yielding type of surface by the time you start to get. This is Eastern right here. That's Atlantic time if you live like up in Canada or way up in New York. But this is the time. This is post time for Eastern Standard. That's 5:25. So that's going to be right in the middle of it, pretty much, of the afternoon showers that are supposed to come in. But keep an eye on the way which way the weather's moving. And but anyway, rolled on the yielding by 9. Impressive win in the Bewitched at Keeneland. So got to be happy about that coming in for Brendan Walsh and Irad Ortiz. Irad Ortiz gets the inside draw, the ground saving trip. So Forever After All, you better pay attention. And then this is called Immensitude, and this is Bill Mott, Junior Alvarado. Pretty good. Previously chased Beach Bomb for second place in the Very Ones Stakes. She can pick them off down the stretch to hit the board. She's over 60% in the money. You can see 16 lifetime starts here. She has 3 wins, 2 seconds, and 5 third place finishes. So do the math. 10 out of 16 in the money, not too bad. And it's, I believe, 20 to 1 morning line odds. So this one's going to might be that exotics bomb we're looking for. So keep an eye on that. Look at all the bullet works. Got nice bullet right here on May 31st. So 1 out of 155. So they really hammered down on this one, going 4 furlongs on the work. So should be ready to go. And then talk about give me another. This is when they say give me another, this one means wins. I'll take a win here. I'll take a win. I'll take a win. I'll give me another. And all the way up to April of 2024, then decided to make that move from South Africa to the United States, and then comes back and debuts in March, going a mile and an eighth. Closes hard in the Hillsborough to get second place. Look at that 100 late pace rally. And that was Saffron Moon. And basically what Gimme Another did was just kind of followed Saffron Moon up the gut and then got the second place finish, and then came back in the Modesty at Churchill Downs on Oaks Day and ran lights out and was chasing the pace again and was going up against She Feels Pretty, who's in this race. And you know, She Feels Pretty is just, you talk about at the top of their game. That girl is on fire. And but this time, instead of following Saffron Moon, give me another, said I'll take second place from you, and ran past that rival to turn the tables. So a nice second place finish in the Modesty. This time Jose is going to be up again for the third time. So looking like maybe a really, really good candidate for underneath. And then you have Miwa, Todd Pletcher, Dylan Davis. This one comes over from Franche. And I'm really disappointed because Florent Giraud, I really wanted to call this the French Connection, the French horse with the French jockey, but then they give the mount to Dylan Davis, which totally just ruins that whole thing. So there goes that. But anyway, this one comes in over to the States, debuts at a mile on a yielding track going for just 130K, but a nice soft landing spot. Pletcher knows how to do it. Got this horse down the stretch charging and closed to fourth place. Was off a little slow, but should improve next time around. Just a 4-year-old filly, Rapoli Stables. Keep an eye on this one down the road. I don't think I'm going to put. I had to eliminate some horses. I like so many in this race, but I like Dylan Davis too. So this is just an improving filly to keep an eye on for later on in the year, I do believe. But if she pops here, then all the better, right? So Edict is David Donk Donk, and Manny Franco rides. David Donk's another one that's not too hot on the graded stakes at well, not too hot graded stakes, period. He's 0 for 14 right now, but he's really on a slump. I believe he is the 0 for 17. Hasn't had a winner on the turf in a long, long time out here at the spa. So I'm going to pass on this one anyway. Really a pretty decent looking horse though. Nice off the break bogey right here and had the lead down the stretch, but was run down by dynamic pricing, uh, who we'll get to a little bit later in the next race. So Edict, I'm probably going to pass on, but nice looking horse anyway. But this one, Beliza, I think this is Miguel Clement, and this filly raced in Ireland before coming over in the fall of 2024. Debuted on May 2nd at Aqueduct at Belmont at the Big A in the Sheepshed Bay Grade 3 and just pressed the pace hard and took it home down the stretch. And really interesting race by Rodriguez, the jockey, because there's a part when you're coming down the stretch where there's a open space between the rails. So he's on the inside rail and he just hits that open space and just kind of goes over and passes on the inside shoulder, so to speak, like if you're on the highway, and slips by Beach Bomb and wins the race. Really savvy move there by the jock. Taking advantage of that room, defeated Beach Bomb and now getting Flavian Pratt. So this one's a one I would probably take notice of. Nice 106 late pace there. So pretty good underneath use, I would say. And then you have Beach Bomb. That's the one we just talked about getting clipped at the wire. And then two wins before that, the Orchid and the Very One. So Louis Sai is aboard for those two. Louis Sai is back for this one. So we're going back to Louis, and that's a good sign. She was in position to remain undefeated in 2025 until she got clipped there. And this is actually going to be a slight cutback in distance. She went 1 3/8 there. So we're cutting back to 1 3/16 this time around. So a little bit shorter distance should suit a front runner well. She really wants to lead. You can see that 8 out of 8 in the white system, so to speak. And then here she feels pretty rounded out. What can I say? Sherry DeVoe. Sherry DeVoe has to feel pretty about this horse too, because this 4-year-old filly is poised to just take over the female turf division, picking up where she left off in 2024, winning the Grade 1 American Oaks, the QE Cup at Keeneland. That was Grade 1 that she destroyed the field and then came into and really just it was a walk in the park, 99 speed figure, and just really just kicked clear with Johnny V aboard. He rides again. So just honestly, not too much of a chance to defeat this horse, in my opinion. I'm going to move over to race 12, set that up for us, and then we'll talk a few seconds. So, number 8, she feels pretty single in any kind of pick 5 horizontal type bets, and then or vertical bets, I should say, and then key horse in any horizontal bets, and single in any vertical. Obviously, she feels pretty is just going to be a really low bet. I mean, I think she's already 3 to 5 morning line, so I don't know where that's going to go. This might be a race just to kick back and watch, unless you want to try a superfecta key. That's the one bet that I thought you could probably find some value, because there's going to be plenty of high dollar horses. Number 3, Give Me Another, is the next likely one up. But then I like Forever After All, number 1. Number 2, Immensitude, 60% in the money. Number 6, Beliza. Number 7, Beach Bomb. So 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7 underneath, with the 8 on top for the key. And now we're going to jump over. Actually, we're going to race number 13 is what I wanted to do. And that's just a game. It's not a game to us, people. We do this for reals. So we're going to start 1 mile inner turf this time, tight turns. grade one dynamic pricing. Not so much. Well, I guess it is kind of dynamic. 12-1 morning line odds. The 2024 Edgewood Stakes winner, 20 or grade three Bouquet win came right off the layoff. Chad Brown, Saratoga, Turf, Dylan Davis, inside ground saving trip. I hope this horse stays hovers around 9 or 10-1. Be honest, would be just a really good low key sleeper play for me. Klarovich Stables, another strong uh, connections. Special Juan is another one. Brendan Walsh, Joel Rosario. Gotta love Joel getting them out. Although Louis defects, so Brendan Walsh, Joel Rosario. I mean, 10-1 morning line, and then one first off the layoff in the Honey Fox. Joel hook up again for this Irish bred 5-year-old. The horse can is pretty versatile. You can see early pressing, but only a 3 on the scale of 0 to 8. So can when it's the pace isn't quite as fast, she can run up on you and then take over if needed. Or if the pace is really contested, she can lay back a little bit further. And of course, this was the first lady, and she did fade away versus Chili Flag Gina Romantica in the type. But that pace was a little bit too hot for her. But this pace is more likely in this race, +5, +7, and you can see how she tore ass through this one. But the 5-year-old mare is probably on the outside looking in. There's just too many good ones here. Like this next one, Sagista, Jose Ortiz, Chad Brown once again. Uh, Wonder again, Aqueduct just after breaking her maiden. Then the Belmont Oaks, the grade one in July last year, almost beat Cinderella's Dream, who's a really strong turf horse. And then takes the year off, comes back first out, mile and an eighth, Modesty. Ran pretty well, just didn't kind of tired, gave way, tried to get through on the inside. So I would say the cut back in distance to a mile should suit somebody wanting a front running. And then the second off the layoff, I think this one can be dangerous. Another one that's interesting is Simply in Front, 15-1, and she just won the Grade Two Distaff Turf Mile on Derby Day. She outkicked my long shot play, Pin Up Betty, and this was on Derby Day, so the turf was good, but I mean it was pouring all day. And Pinup Betty was just rolling down the stretch, and I thought she was going to get clear. And then here comes Simply in Front to deny her at the wire, beat by a neck. And that was 15-1. Luis Saez. I was betting Luis Saez left and right, and I think that was like the one race that whole day I didn't bet Luis Saez because I had Pinup Betty at like 12-1, and so I did get placed money on that. So it wasn't a complete failure. But the thing I did miss was that she came back and ran in the last Sunday's Grade Three Mint Julep at Churchill Downs, and I wasn't going to open up any like betting websites or anything like that. I wanted to lay off and just do research. But then I found out later on she was in that race and 5-1 winner, and that really kind of ticked me off because I would have absolutely bet that. But that happens sometimes. That was and this was her 2025 debut though with the win, so pretty strong move. Frankie Dettori takes over though, so it is a technically a downgrade, even though I do like Frankie on the turf. But we talked about Frankie's turf record right now, and he's struggling as well. So Luis Saez wisely goes over to the top choice Choiza. So we'll talk about that one in a minute. Number 5 Keyhole Beach, I'm warming up to. This is another front running speed horse trained by Wesley Ward, killing it on the turf so far this year. She won the Miss Revere last fall at Churchill Downs, grade two, and you can see the wins before that, 3 straight leading up to the break. Then comes out and goes right into grade one company in the Jenny Wiley and led the way most of the way and fought down the stretch and was just passed up by Choiza and Excellent Truth, who probably are the 1 and 2 horses in this race. So it's 1, 2, 3 probably though. This could be a boxed trifecta bet right here if you wanted to do it that way. I wouldn't mind that at all. So Kehoe Beach definitely have on my radar. Wesley Ward, Irad Ortiz. Now Do Gooder looked pretty good in the last couple of wins. It did get a eye popping 105, but 62K optional claiming into X. Not really. This is a big class jump. Poor third off layoff for the trainer. So Jenna Antonucci, I'm passing on that. I'm passing on Lilac Rolla, Bill Mott Jr. I'll have to see it. She hasn't run in over 10 months. That's no bueno for me. Now, Excellent Truth is yet another Chad Brown entry. The good second rival to Choiza in the Jenny Wiley had the inside ground saving trip, but did have to steady a bit down the stretch. But I don't think she would have got up to beat Choiza. But it was a really good second place. Pratt's back. Chad Brown, I mean, you have to use, and then you also have to use Choiza. This is Simon Crisford, and here's Louis Saez. The first off, the trip back from Dubai, Medellin, back to back wins in two strong races, going a mile and an eighth. Versatile horse, sired by Night of Thunder. You can see the sire production index when you have both sides like that, and a 9.8. That's all stamina, and then 7.9 good distance horse too. But also has really a ton of early speed. So this one can just run up your butt all day long. So Choiza is the choice. And this one I had some interest in. Herdia, 15-1, faced up against in Spiral, who's awesome at Newmarket, ran third right here before that was 2 years ago, October 2023. And then I'm fast forward to May 4th at the Big A, and pretty nice run here in the Bogey, finished third, but I'm just going to have to pass on it. Sacred Wish, I think, is another one I'm going to have to pass on. I don't think Sacred Wish, and I can't say for sure, uh, did perform well inner turf here at Belmont at the Big A, but I just lots of good finishes. Jenny Wiley was a fourth, and then the distaff got killed though. I don't know what happened in the distaff. I think it says hopped brush gate and off slow, but I watched the break and Sacred Wish. She didn't fall that far back. I mean, she was eighth, but she never engaged in the race. So I don't know if she just got her head twisted sideways and didn't want to run that day, or sometimes it bees like that. So maybe if you just toss that race, you'll use. But outside post, poor graded stakes, no thanks. I'm passing on George Weaver. So let's go ahead and round things out. That's the last of the stakes racing for Friday. All the videos will be public, so give them a watch. This was the three turf races. So give me your all turf pick three, and in the comments section, use hashtag BHS to get in the draw. These are the races where we can find value, but sometimes you just have to take that chalk and look for your value underneath. But I do like that number 4, La Mahana in the Belmont Gold Cup, but then it's She Feels Pretty and Choiza are the ones on top for me. So just remember to sub to that channel, smash that like, be on the lookout for more great Belmont content coming soon. We'll see ya.